Good morning, YouTube. Um, I have two dreams to share with you, and pretty much uh, the second dream, it scared me so bad. I didn't know. I didn't know what to do. So the first dream was I about 3 weeks ago I was sleeping. I wake up in the morning, and actually I woke up. It was probably about 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. I tried to call my mom, but she was asleep. So in this dream, it was me, my mother, um, my brother Vonzel, and my niece. And in this dream, we were we were in this house. I guess it was like a beach house. It was really beautiful, and we were all upstairs in the kitchen. I think my brother was coming back in from out of town or something, and what was happening is it was this man. He was tall, probably between 6'4", 7 foot tall, and he came in to our home, and it's like we knew this guy, and my mother and Mama was talking to him like they had been knowing each other like their whole life pretty much, and I was talking to him too. I didn't know the guy, but I was like, nah, I know this guy from somewhere. I just didn't know where. So we had y'all know what a sofa table looks like. It's one of those tables that uh it goes behind the sofa if you have a big enough house. And what was going on is I was like we were talking. She was in the kitchen moving around. My brother, he was, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was bringing in some bags or something, and it was crazy because he tells me, he said, I wanted to show you how to do this miracle. Now, granted, I had just watched Masiah, Jonathan, Jalumbo, um, Carrie Ann Giddens, Issachar, of course, Seed of Israel, Rap the News. And I try to stay up on these people's videos, family, because everything that they saying to you, you can definitely go back in scripture and verify everything that they're saying. So I was like, I said, okay, fine. So I had my Sefer Bible, and I had it open, and he said, "Come here. I want to show you how to do this miracle." Now, mind you, his beard, it was pretty thick, but when I tell you it wasn't like the salt and pepper gray like I got in here that you see most people that are aging. His was white, had a thick, heavy, thick uh Bantu or African um accent. It was really thick. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Salama, Kimball. Um, so I said, okay. So I go over there with him, and he turns a couple of pages in the Bible. He finds this scripture. I can't remember the scripture. All I remember is that his hands, he didn't pray like this, which all of us that have done research, we know this is an obelisk. He was actually praying with his hands out like he was receiving something from Yahweh or Yah. And he quoted the scripture, this light. It was a real pretty, like a purplish rose color, like almost like a fuchsia color. And this light came out of the Bible, of the Sefer, of Torah. So he asked me, he said, "What is it that you need?" So I looked at my mama, and my mama, she was like, "Well, we do got some bills that need to be paid or whatever." And you know how moms are. So I was like, okay, yeah, that's better. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So I said 10,000. I said not 20,000, like that. So then he goes, he began to pray, and his hands were out like this, and he says, and he looks at me, and then all of a sudden, right where the Bible was open like this on this table. So right there, like two stacks of brand new $100 bills, which I used to work in finance. One strap of $100 bills is 10 grand. So it was two of them stacked on top of each other. So me and my mom, I'm looking at my mama like, what? So we continue to talk and stuff, and him and my mama's talking, and all of a sudden he was like, now I'm gonna show you how to do it. I said, okay. So we started going downstairs in the family room, which I had turned into my bedroom. So now my Bible is laying on the bed, open. So then uh, he said, "Now repeat after me." So I said what he said. I did what he did. I'm standing in the same position. So he said, "Just ask for whatever you want." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I said, $100,000. So I said, "But I want you to do it again so I can make sure I get it right because I didn't want to make any mistakes." So he goes through the whole procedure again. He's standing like this. He's looking up toward the heavens. He quotes this scripture. The light comes out of this word again. Real beautiful light comes out of this word again. And on my bed, you know, when you buy a case of pop, you remember some of the listeners that's tuned in, y'all remember those cardboard little flats that the pop used to come in. And one of those appeared on my bed, like propped up like this. Like if this is my bed, it's propped up like this, but it's vacuum packed. And it's brand new $100 bills in there. So I'm looking. So my brother comes downstairs because my niece Miracle, she was downstairs with us. My brother comes downstairs and he was like, "Teach me how to do that too. I need some money." So the man, which I think was a Maleki, he goes, "I can't teach this to you right now." So my brother was like, "Oh, okay." And he just continued to watch. So then he said, "Now you do it." So I did it. And when I did it, all this money is just start these straps of money, $100 bills, $50 bills. They just start coming up out of the Bible. And it was a mound probably about this high off of my bed. So I looked at the man and I was like, "Hey, sir, this is enough. I'm not greedy." I said, "Other people need blessings too, like that." And he kind of gave me a smile. And all he did was wave his hand over the Bible, over my sefer, and the money just stopped coming. So I asked my mama, I said, "Well, mama, is there anything that you need?" And she was like, "Yeah, I need a new car so I can get around so I can go back and forth to my doctor's appointments." I was like, "Okay, cool." So that was that dream. I woke up, I was like bewildered. Last week, I have a dream about the same man. Me and my mother's on this beach, same house, but we in two chairs and we looking out toward the ocean. And we're sitting there, and my mom, she looks off to she was like, "Who is that?" And I'm looking, I was like, mm-hmm. Because he was so far away, he looked like he was this big down the beach shore. So mama, all of a sudden, she says, "Well, let's go in the house and make sure the house is clean just in case he comes here." So I was like, I'm looking at my mom like, we just finished cleaning up. It's spotless. She said we can always do a little fine tuning and cleaning in little areas. So I was like, okay. So we turned to go up to the house, which is probably 100 yards in back of us, because we facing the ocean. And he was standing at our door already. And I was like, what? How did he get from this little? Now he's at our door. We don't know. So I was sitting there. So we go into the house. Mama goes in first. He's standing there. He takes off his shoes. And I was like, you coming in? And he was like, yeah, I just need some water. I was like, come on in. You can have as much water as you want. This same man, thick, heavy accent. I knew it was Bantu. Um, I was like, actually, why don't you stay here and eat with us? Mama is cooking something. Either it was a roast or baked chicken or something to that effect. And he was like, sure, if it ain't no problem. I said, no, you can eat till you fall asleep over here. It's fine. Because it was just me and mama. And my mama's always cooked like she was cooking for a million people. So all of a sudden, he was like, we had finished eating. We come back outside. He said, I want to show you this miracle. He said, did you remember the last miracle I showed you? And I was like, yeah, I remembered it. And he was like, good. And he kind of gave me this smile. He said, come over here. Now, where our house was built at, it was dirt, but it was real hard. So he takes his finger, makes a little circle in the dirt, and he does this again. He looks up to the heavens. In Bantu language, again, he starts praying. Water just shoots up. And I was like, that's amazing. But wherever the water landed, these flowers just started to bloom like immediately. So I was just like, that's really amazing. So my mother says, I want to learn how to do that too. He was like, come on over here. So we all three doing that. So I do it. Same thing happened. Water comes up. Mama, she does it. Water comes up. We look back because me and mama, we like, this is amazing. So I look at mama, I look and the man, he's this big, but now he's way down here on this end of the beach, like, and then he just disappears. So I woke up, I was shook, but it was a calming feeling because I knew that either it was Hamashiach or it was a Maleki, what they call an angel. So then this morning, not even an hour ago, I'm sleeping. We are in this house. It's me and these other people. It's a bunch of Bantus, a bunch of Hebrew people around us, and it's one white girl, but she was dating this black dude, but they had broke up, and she was like feeling some type of way. I guess I don't know. I just remember her eyes. Her eyes were the same color as the sky, but they were like a almost like a neon color. She was really, really. If y'all could see what I seen, she was really, really pretty for some reason. She was beautiful, and but she was probably about 20, 19, 20, 21, somewhere in there. She was younger, and I was messing with her. I can't remember what we were talking about. It wasn't nothing inappropriate. We were talking about something, And I just remember I seen when we go outside in it was like a ranch style house that had like a little thing like this where you could pull your car up under. But it was like an RV or a camper or something there. So we out under that because it's like a bunch of campers, like two or three campers lined up right there. Only one of them was under this like eave. So I was sitting there and I was like, we were talking or whatever. So I'm teasing her. Not mean, but I was just teasing her. And all of a sudden I hear I hear this noise. It was like, and just the velocity of it, it moved us around like this. So I was like, what was that? I looked at the little white girl and I was like, what was that? She was like, oh, she said either it was a missile or a jet, fighter jet. And I was like, I got this look on my face, like, what? Because it must be normal for her. It wasn't normal for me because I was like, I don't know what that was because the sheer noise of it scared the doodle out of me. So I remember going out. We go outside and we looking up. It's kind of overcast, like partly cloudy or whatever. And I remember seeing this grayish, like it kind of looked like insulation, and it was floating down like this morning. When I first got up, I thought it was like insulation, but it was ash. So this ash is falling down. It's still on fire. So I look over to, like, if I'm looking at the view of my dream this way, it was an old building right over here. I thought it was coming from there, but it wasn't. So I look behind the building almost. Like if this is the building, I'm looking over here, behind the building, over the top of the building, and I'm looking and I see this ash that's falling down from the sky. It starts to go. It's starting to make uh look like a tornado, but it's on fire. So I'm looking. Right when that happens, I hear that whistle, and they was just coming. It was probably maybe 10, 20 of them that went over our head, and they were so low. If the velocity of acceleration, the repercussions from the velocity of acceleration literally pushed us down to the ground and it was dragging us. So we had to grab on. I remember grabbing onto the edge of the trailer hitch of one of the campers and I just held on to it. And the little white girl, she was just standing there like exactly it was a carport. So she was standing in the midst of this chaos. She was just standing there. But it was like somebody had put a light inside her head and her eyes were glowing. It was the craziest thing. And this morning, when I woke up, I could still hear that sound. It scared me so bad. I woke up like I was shaking like this morning when I got up about an hour ago. And I was like, I don't know what that was. All I know is the Most High began to deal with me about some things. And I was watching a video on Issachar last night. I wasn't going to watch it, but the Most High made me watch it. And what y'all have to understand is this: we have to stay prayerful. We have to stay prayerful. I've been dreaming like crazy. I've been dreaming like crazy. And the stuff that I'm seeing, we have to be prepared mentally. Because if we prepared spiritually, we'll be prepared mentally. We have to. Your spirituality and your mentality, they like this. If your spirit's off, your mentality gonna be off. Because scripture tells us men's hearts shall fail them because what is about to come upon the earth. So we have to make sure we praying for our people as a nation. All this stuff that's going on in the tabloids, in the news about our people doing all this stuff. First of all, we don't fool with dynamite and bombs and stuff like that. Just ain't us. That's something we don't do. We might smack the taste out your mouth. We don't do bombs because that is something that's not sure. You might fix the bomb up and put it on you and walk 2 steps and it's unstable. That's something we don't do. So we just need to pray for our people as a nation. Thank everybody for listening. I had to just make sure that I told y'all these dreams. Um, this man that's in my dreams, he's the nicest person, but he's super masculine. And he has on the same white linen. This is the same guy. And he's showing me these miracles. And I just thought it was amazing. I had to tell my family on YouTube, I don't do this for followers or likes or any of that. It's just, I had some other stuff I wanted to talk about, but the Most High told me if I talked about it, what they were going to do is they was going to shut my channel down. He said he had work for me to do. So thank everybody. I just want to thank everybody for listening in and tuning in to this live stream. Salama. Y'all be blessed.